Good afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures, and this is the FX rundown. Those risk currencies, really across the board, anything against the dollar is not holding on to those gains we saw last night after China data beat expectations. We had GDP coming a bit better than expected. Industrial production was almost a blowout number, and then retail sales also beat. You had a lot of these currencies, the euro, the Aussie, the Canadian, all higher overnight, but those have all come back in. Now, the US dollar is gaining a little bit of ground. Stronger trade balance numbers, a lower wholesale inventories number, which is stronger for the economy. It's upticking GDP just a bit. Now, all of that is supporting the dollar, and on the flip side, it's pressuring the euro. But really, there's some technicals here at work too. 113.62 has been our major three-star resistance in the euro, and it's been a real burden for the bulls. They haven't been able to achieve a closeout above there despite the price action intraday holding above there for longer and extended periods of time. Now, what you want to watch here is if this euro begins to fail through the rest of today's session and end overnight. You have flash PMIs tomorrow. These are going to be a crucial number to watch, and flash PMIs for Europe as well as the US. Now, as well for the dollar index, you had that support 96.25. We've been talking about that on these videos going back to last week, and that is helping lift a little bit on the technical side of things. So watch those two levels, and if the data tomorrow favors either a failure or strength in the euro, that close tomorrow lining up for the end of the week is going to be crucial. So again, watch that data tomorrow and that 113.62 level in the euro and 96.25 in the dollar index. Now for the yen, it has been very, very weak. The new lows below that floor, it really keeps the path of least resistance lower. What we're watching is that 90 level, and below 90, again, that's a path of least resistance lower. We like being short the yen. Manage your risk though. Make sure you have a stop, because what you do want to watch is it's not only currencies against the dollar coming in and as risk assets. You're seeing stocks come in a bit here today, and you're seeing U.S. Treasuries tick up a bit. So keep an eye on those as as safe haven assets. Could get a little more of an uptick if you can see continued pressure on the stock market into the end of the day, and that could just tick the yen up just a little bit. But still, we like the yen. Path of least resistance lower below 90. And then lastly, the Canadian that had arguably decent data today, but could not hold its ground. Crude oil is off the highs. The somewhat overall risk sentiment holding crude oil back. Really, the EIA inventory data not as bullish as some of the expectations were. So that's holding crude oil back as well. And the Canadian, we said last night that if it wasn't for crude oil, the Canadian would be a lot lower, but it's almost really a fade. It's a sell in the Canadian, the fact that it hasn't been able to follow crude oil higher. So watch that Canadian. 75 is our really big level there. It's been tethered to it. It was out above it strongly here today. It's giving those gains up. Below, it's about 74.90 is really going to be a bearish signal, especially on today. That would be a huge tail. And then lastly, looking at the Aussie dollar, it achieved our major three-star resistance overnight. That move following the better data out of China, it pushed it out to our next major three-star resistance level. We've been bullish the Aussie. This gives us a reason to step aside and take a step back on that Aussie dollar after that getting achieved. So watch tonight. You have employment data coming out of Australia. So that's going to be crucial in moving the tape, but you shouldn't be worried about a position after getting up there towards major three-star resistance last night. Give us a call. We're here to help talk about anything on the board. 312-278-0500. You can email us info@bluelinefutures.com. Check our website for updates. You can sign up for a free trial of our research there. But remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Thanks a lot.